Everybody that listens to this needs to ask themselves, how do I get financially literate? Because you don't have to make a lot of money to be wealthy.
Yes.
You just have to understand the system.
Hello, everyone. This is the Immigrant Experience Show coming to you from Cancun this time. And I'll tell you the reason why in a few minutes. Today on the Immigrant Experience Show, we're going to be talking to my dearest brother from another mother. Wale Gbalajobi is my brother because we've known each other for over 3 decades. But before that, today's tidbits is, according to Canadian immigration data, Canada welcomed over 5,000 permanent residents in September of this year. That is 19% from August 2021. So that is for you, and it's an increase of 200% compared to 1 year ago. I am your host, Moji Taiwo. I'm also the author of the I Give Because I'm Blessed Because I Give, a chronicle of an immigrant's journey. So on to today's show. This gentleman to my left is a special guest, as I said, a Canadian of Nigerian heritage. Wale Gbalajobi was a banker, a professional and community leader, an entrepreneur, a financial planner, educator, and wealth building. And of course, he is the president of the Aqua Financial Services. Aqua Financial Consulting, Inc. So, Wale, welcome.
Thank you.
Welcome. As I said at the beginning, we're in Cancun. We're in Cancun to celebrate Wale's special milestone. There are 2 milestones that we're celebrating this week. The first one is your birthday.
Yes.
I'm not going to say how old you are, but feel free if you want to share with us.
I'm 60.
Can you believe this young man is 60 years old? And the second milestone is being an immigrant, a Canadian successful immigrant of 40 years. So our theme for this show is called the Immigrants Over 40.
Okay.
Or your immigrants at 40.
Okay.
It has something to do with being a successful Canadian immigrant. And this is 40 years celebration of that. So Wale, my first question to you is, how did you decide to come to Canada?
I'm going to answer that question, but I'm going to shock you.
Okay.
It's my 60th, like you said.
Yes.
But the big thing is this. It just occurred to me that I stole part of my 60th message from your book. I give because I'm blessed because I give. The theme of this week's activities is I'm blessed.
You're certainly blessed.
So I need to put that out there before we continue.
Thank you.
And you're going to see some of the photographs and things with I'm blessed in it. So that needs to be put out. Having said that, how did I
decide to emigrate to Canada?
Actually, it was by accident. Back in the late 70s, early 80s, when most of us wanted to come. Like every kid in Nigeria then, I wanted to go to the UK or the US. But I had a cousin in Edmonton who happened to have visited Nigeria at the time. So he told my dad, send this boy to Canada. He says, Canada is the best kept secret in the world. And to God be the glory, my father listened. And he assured my dad that I'll make sure he's settled when he comes there. In any case, that was how my Canadian sojourn began. It was through this cousin of mine who directed my parents.
And what year was that?
That was he directed them in 1980, but I got here in 1982. So this is my 40th year I landed in Edmonton, actually, April 15th, 1982.
1982.
So it's almost 41 years.
Yes, and I think we met shortly after that.
Absolutely.
Yes, so he's truly my brother. We grew up together in the community, actually.
Absolutely.
So with that, like most of us who came young, we planned to go back to Nigeria. But here we are, for almost 41 years later with you. What have you done to occupy those 40 years, considering that you chose to stay?
I'll tell you, like you said, I was supposed to come here for like 5 years, 4 or 5 years, do my first degree, go to law school, and go back to Nigeria. And life happened. First of all, I met my wife in school. And then
my beautiful sister, Bernie Gbalajobi.
We met in university, and obviously that changed things a little bit because she was doing her chartered accounting designation. We had to wait, then I had to go to law school. And then something also very interesting happened. I got this job with CIBC. Prior to that, I'd gotten jobs with General Motors. I worked for a company called Telecheck, but the CIBC job was just like, it was who I was. The bank had just started changing to real relationship banking and being aggressive and trying to gather clients and bring in lots of assets.
By the way, Wale was the first Black bank manager, CIBC bank manager in Cargo.
Thank you for that. And that's very true. So I got this job, and it was just my playpen. I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed what I did. And I always told people this story. So I told my dad. My dad always asked me, when are you coming back? I work for the bank. And then he says, okay, when are you finished? When are you going to law school?
Yeah.
I tell him, I'm still in the bank. And then as I got promoted, I'll say, Dad, I got promoted. He'll say, but when are you going to law school? Until once he came and he saw what I'd accomplished, he finally told me, I'm proud of you. You don't have to go to law school again. You know, so that was my.
It resonates with most of us that comes here early. And you know, immigrant parents, they know what they want for us. They always want the best for us, right. But they don't always realize that we can make money or make career out of our passion. And that's what happened here. We're thinking of going to law school, ending up in banking and finance, yes. And financial services.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Yeah, so what else have you done?
What else have I done? Mm-hmm. Well, you know, I think my biggest satisfaction is being a community man. A lot of us come here and we forget what we're all about. We forget that where we come from, one of the things that makes our society tick back home is that we have no social welfare. Our social welfare is our network. Mm-hmm. It takes a village. We're that village. And that idea of a village kept me going here as well. I felt more accomplished when I gave. It comes back to I give
because I'm blessed.
Than when I take. And so I always felt it was important that I was a community man. And again, part of the theme of my 60th is I wanted my community involvement to be a big showcase of what we've done in this country. Because mm-hmm. without that, you would know this, we gave a lot. We see a lot of immigrants coming in now, but they don't know the struggles we went through to make sure it happens. I see a lot of engineers working in the oil patch in downtown Calgary. Yes. They never understood that there were protests back in the day because there was not a lot of people our color in suits. Yes. Back down those days.
In Calgary, on the streets of Calgary.
Exactly. Yeah. And now you see all that. I go to the bank. I remembered one time a Black person came into the bank and he saw me. He did a dance inside the bank manager's office because he just couldn't believe it. Now it's everywhere. So we get a sense of satisfaction when we see all those things happening because finally we are being heard.
Yes.
You know, again, it's a theme of where we've come and where we're going. We're not there yet.
Yes. Well, it's a journey.
Absolutely.
And as a whole is a journey. I believe that the end is when we are called to come back home, absolutely, which is when we die, you know. So I know personally that you've done a lot more than you've shared so far. You've talked about your community engagement and community involvement. Tell us more about, you know, you've a little bit of career, a little bit of community, but I also know that you are part of building organizations that are still running today.
Yes, and some are extinct.
Yes.
Or they've taken other forms.
Other forms, yes.
Yeah, you're right. Of course, we have the Nigerian Canadian Association. It's one of the most thriving associations, not just in Canada, not just in Calgary, but globally. It is one of those organizations that has created a persona that is
a brand.
Yes, a brand that you cannot replicate anywhere in the world. And it's through people like us that had a vision that a lot of us are here now. We're not going anywhere. Let's make sure we create a presence in these communities where we live. And I haven't seen one anywhere in the world that is even anywhere close to what we have built in Calgary, where we have a community association that has its own house that is fully paid, no leverage, nothing. And we call it our place, you know? So that's one. By the way, I don't know whether you remember the African Community Association that was formed in the late 80s. It went down, but I think there's groups now that are springing up like that. There's the Yoruba Foundation that is around, and there's investment groups that have been formed. I'm pretty proud to say some of the buildings you see downtown are being built by anonymous Nigerians. And that's some of the things that people like us have brought into this community. They don't make noise about it, but we create groups where they invest. And we can probably say some of what you see may not be who you think owns it. You know, I want to keep that a bit low, but those are some of the things we're doing in these communities, not just in Calgary, in Edmonton, and in other parts of Canada as well.
Yeah. So when you went to outside of the country with CIBC.
Yes. Yes.
So tell us a little bit about that.
That's an interesting story. I have to say this. That journey was not one that is given to people my color. Back in the day, they gave it to accomplished good old boys as a reward to them when they want to retire. So usually they're in their 60s, and then it's like their golden parachute to leave the bank. I got there at the age of 35. It was unheard of for a Black guy to go to the West Indies as a country general manager, my age, running things. Now, for that to happen, I had to fight. That's another thing that we don't have the time to go through. But every little step of my advancement in the corporate world was about fight. You have to fight, you have to earn it, and you have to show that you earned it. And at times, you have to get recognition outside of your organization and force them to give you the promotion that you really rightly deserve. You know, I'm sure you know what I'm talking about.
And we went through, we were sort of going through it together in my field, in the government world, in your field, in the banking world. But what people need to know, and we keep reminding, is you work hard, you fight hard, but you also have people having your back.
Yes.
You have people that you're learning from, that are encouraging you and pushing
mentors,
you. Mentors in the back.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And you've also mentored so many people.
I still do. It's one of the greatest satisfactions that I have. I'm not sure whether you're going to ask this, but you're probably going to ask me about the future.
Yes.
And that's one of the ways forward that I see for our community. And just to go back a bit, if this is supposed to inspire people, one of the things I like to tell people is that our community needs to be financially literate. We really, really need to be. We can't let Canada go through us. We have to go through Canada. And everybody that listens to this needs to ask themselves, how do I get financially literate? Because you don't have to make a lot of money to be wealthy.
Yes.
You just have to understand the system.
I think that's in my book too.
You
You don't have to make lots of money to be wealthy. You just need to be smart about your money.
Yes. Understand the system.
And understand the system. And you cannot be in a cocoon, in isolation, in order to learn. Absolutely. You have to extend yourself in order to learn. Yes. So what's in the future? I do know, because I know that we will have another interview. And that one is going to be more educational. So if you can, just a little bit, give us a little taste of it.
Yeah, I started touching upon that. I said we need to get educated. We need to get educated because the Canadian financial system is, just think of it as a game. When you play a game, you need to know the rules. If you don't know the rules, you can never win. How can you strategize if you're playing blind? Okay, so going forward, one of the things I'm putting together, I've actually put a program together over my 30 years of learning the Canadian financial system. Yeah, but again, it's not easy. You have to focus, you have to be disciplined, and you have to understand the system. Once you do, I think the rest of it will be people like us mentoring you to get there.
Yes. We give back by mentoring people. It actually makes us happy when we see people that are doing well. Absolutely. And we've had something to do with it. It gives me the greatest joy to share. So, and that's why we got along really well. So on that note, we don't want to give too much during this episode. We will do another one. I just want us to remember, as Wale has said, and we've said repeatedly on this show, is that you cannot take a defeat. You cannot accept a setback as a permanent defeat. So there is always opportunities from challenges. And we ask you, we encourage you to be inspired by this story. So when you're watching us there, always look forward to learn something new. We're going to say thank you very much for sharing your special occasion with us on the Immigrant Experience Show. And we look forward to another episode. Thank you so much, Wale Gbalajobi.
Thank you. I just want to say a final, she should have the last word, but I want to say this because, again, it's gratitude. She's here celebrating my 60th with me, with over 100 other people who are here. It is not because of me, it is by the grace of the Almighty. I thank you all, and thank you for inviting me.
Thank you for having me. Well, you know I love parties, so I don't shy away from parties. Thank you so much. This is the Moji Taiwo from the Immigrant Experience Show, coming to you from Cancun, Mexico. So we'll see you again next time. Please remember to like, share, and subscribe. Thank you.